Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we'll be building this creative modern landing page of DC. So using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, this is not something like this. So this is not static. It has a lot of animations. Now, if I reload the page, you'd see that these two images kind of come in from left and right. We have this Joker logo kind of translating from underneath, and then we have this text animation along with these images. So this is a cool website with fun animations. Looks really neat. So we're going to be building this using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we're going to be using GSAP for all the different animations. So yeah, hope you like this video. Now, the source code of this project is down in the description. So if you guys want to download, you can download that. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure subscribe and turn the notification bell, since every week I bring in creative and quality website designs along with fun tutorials. So you would really enjoy my content. And yeah, if you really enjoy my content, please make sure to share my videos with your friends who are interested in learning web development, and also comment down below what you liked about this video and if you learned anything new. So yeah, let's start. So this is the finished site. So the URL is jokerui.netlify.app, which I'll leave it in the description. You guys can check it out. So for the structure, basically we have two images. So we need two divs for these two images. And then we have this nav, and then this text can be inside of a section tag. And then we can use an article tag wherein we have these three trailers. And then for these two buttons, we can just place them absolutely in respect to the entire website, which will be wrapped inside of the main tag, basically. So here in the index.html, first let's get the CDNs. So we need remix icon. So remix icon CDN.js, and let's go. So you're gonna click on this first link, and then you're gonna copy this minified version, and then you'll just paste it here just like this. And then we'll also need GSAP. So you can search GSAP CDN.js, the first link. Let's click, and then you can copy this minified JavaScript and you can paste it here. All right, now let's start with the structure. So here in this folder, I have index.html, style.css, and also the images. So now inside of the body, we're going to wrap the entire website inside of the main tag. And then we have two images. So we're going to have bg image class for both the two images. And then we have the nav for the navigations, and then the section for this text and the image. And then we have the article for the trailers. And then, so for the first BG image, we're going to have BG1, and then for the second one, we can have BG2. Now, inside of BG1, we're going to add the image, and then same for the BG2. And then inside of the nav, we're going to add the anchor tag for about, then trailers. And then for the logo, we're going to specify a class of logo, and then we're going to add the image of DC here. So we have the logo in the images folder. You can add the logo. And then right after that, we're going to add here the gallery and then shop. Let's save. Okay, we have the two images, and so we have about, trailers, and here we have gallery and shop. Now inside of the section, you're going to have a div with the class of upper text for this, and then the Joker div for the image of the Joker, the logo basically. and then one will be lower text, which is this one. So we're going to add the upper text. Now this, the th on top, you can just add the superscript tag, and then you can wrap it around the th, and you would have the th up above the 4. And then inside of the joker, we're going to add the image tag, and then inside of lower text, we're going to add the text of put on a happy face. And then in the sections, so next in the article, we're going to add the 3 trailer dribs, which would have the 3 images of the trailers. So the first one would have a span of 0, 1. So we also have some text 0, 1, 0, 2, and 0, 3. So these we're going to wrap inside of the span tag. And then we're going to add the image. We're going to do the same for the other 2 as well. And so the second one, the one at the center, also has this icon, play icon. So we're going to add that inside of a play div. Now this icon is from Remix icon, which we have already added here, the CDN link. Let's save. Okay. Now we're going to have the buttons. So we're going to have a div for the class of buttons. Inside of that, we're going to have our first button and then the second one. Let's paste in. Let's save. We have the 2 buttons. All right, so we're done with our HTML. Let's get started with the CSS. And the CSS, I have added the Google fonts of Poppins as well as Noto Sans Gothic, which we're going to be using in the site. So this one is the Noto Sans, and then these are basically the font Poppins. Now I've also removed the default box sizing as border box, and then the margin and padding also I've set them to 0. Now inside of the body, we're going to first give it a height and width, and then also the background color. So if you see, so these 2 images have same background. So what you can do is you can copy this background and then you can paste it here. So I've just I already have it here, so I'll just Control Z. Now in case if you want, you can copy from the image as well and you can paste it. So after I set the background, you can see the background color so well blends in with these images. And then we're going to also set the overflow to hidden, since we don't want anything to be shown and we don't want any scrolls as well. So we're going to set this as overflow hidden, and then also font family as Poppins. Let's save. Okay. Now the main tag that we have, we're going to set its position to relative, since many of the stuff we're going to place inside of the main as absolute. So we need to add a reference. So basically we're setting it with a value of relative as position. And then we're going to set display flex, and then flex direction as column, and then height as 100 viewport height. Now the BG image, we're going to set it as position absolute, top 0, and then z index to -1, so that it always stays behind everything that we have. And then the BG1 would be left 0, and then the BG second would be right 0, something like this. And then the image inside of the BG image would have a height of 100 viewport height and the object fit to contain. Okay. Now the logo that we have inside of the nav, we're going to target that and we're going to set its height and width, and also we're going to set the object fit to cover. Okay. So this is the image. And then the navigation, we're going to target that nav tag, and we're going to set the width to 100 viewport width, and we're going to set everything at the center with display flex, align items, and justify content to center. And then we're going to give a gap of 60 pixels to each of the nav item. So basically all the anchor tags would have a gap of 60 pixels here. Now the anchor tag, we're going to target all the anchor tags. We're going to set the color and also remove the text decoration. And we're going to set the font size along with the font weight. Now we're going to set the anchor tag as position relative since we need these lines. So we're going to use the before pseudo selector in the anchor tag. So we're going to target the nav anchor tag. Now this logo itself is also inside of an anchor tag. So when we're targeting the anchor tag, we need to ensure that the anchor tag that we target is not the logo. So you can add this not, and then inside of these brackets, you can set which class you don't want to target. So in this case, we don't want the anchor tag which has the class of logo. And then we're gonna target the before pseudo selector of those anchor tags. And so whenever you're using the before and after pseudo selectors, you need to have this content attribute. Now here you can set it to empty string since we do not have any text. And then you're going to want to set the position to absolute and then give a height and width and then top and then left value. Okay. Now this left, we want it to transform and translate along the x-axis. So we're going to have -50% and then we're going to set a background color, which looks something like this. Now we're going to target the section and we're going to set the width, and also we're going to set display flex with flex direction to column and align items to center so that everything is at the center. Now these images, the trailer images, what I'm going to do is I'll just comment out these as of now. Okay. And then we're going to set the color here. Let's save, which looks something like this. Okay, so here I think, yeah. Okay, we have it here. Let's save. Okay, so we have the image here. Now we also want to set the margin top of 50 pixels so that we have some gapping from top, and as well as all the text or all the flex items here need to have a gap of 15 pixels. So we're going to set that as well. Now the font family, we're going to add the font family as Noto Sans Gothic. And then we're going to target the upper text. We're going to align them using display flex and align items to flex end. And we're going to give a gap of 100 pixels. And then also we're going to set the opacity to 0.8 and letter spacing to 2 pixels. And then we're going to shrink the font size a bit using font size, and we're going to set it to 13 pixels. Now we're going to target the lower text. We want the font family this time as Poppins, and then font weight to 200, and then this letter spacing as well as word spacing of 12 pixels. And then we're going to increase the font size by 20 pixels, and then we have margin left of 10 pixels. Let's save. So this is how it looks. Now we're going to target the image inside of the Joker div, and we're going to set the height to 250 pixels. And now we're going to target all the different trailers that we have. Let's comment it out. Let's remove the comments. Okay. So we have the trailer. We're gonna set width and height, and also we're gonna add border of 1 pixel solid and this color. Let's save. And then we're gonna set position relative. Since the text that you saw 0, 1, 2, and 3, we want to be able to position those absolutely. So we set here the position of relative. Now the border radius needs to be 10 pixels, and also cursor needs to be pointer. Now the image inside of the trailer, we're going to set width and height to 100%. And also the object fit needs to be covered. It's safe. So we have the image here. Now we're going to set the border radius to 10 pixels, and also we're going to set the filter property, and we're going to add grayscale of 0.7. Okay. Now the span inside of the trailer, we're going to set them as position absolute with font size, font weight of 100 and color of this, and also font size to 30 pixels, and then top and left value with a z-index of 100. Let's save. Okay, we have 0, 1, 2, and then the third one is somewhere underneath this. So we're going to target the article which basically wraps all the different trailers that we have, and we're going to set the display flex, and then we're going to align and justify the content as center. So we have all of them at the center. Now the margin top needs to be auto, which basically will move this at the bottom, and then padding bottom of 20 pixels. And then we're going to target the second trailer, and we're going to scale it up a bit. Okay. And then also we're going to add a Z index of 10 so that this is on top of the other two trailers. Now the play button that the trailer has, the second trailer, we're going to set its position to absolute, and we're going to place it at the center. So we're going to set top 50%, left 50%, and also we want to translate it along the X and Y axis. So we're going to set -50% and -50%. Let's save. Okay. Font size of 40 pixels. And then the color needs to be white. So here we have it. Now the buttons. So when we target the buttons, we're going to position them absolutely. We can add the bottom property of 50 pixels, left 100 pixels. And then since we want them to kind of stack, so we can add display flex, select the direction of column, and align them at the center, and also have a gap of 10 pixels. Something like this. Now we're going to target each of the button. We're going to set the padding, font family as Poppins, and then the background color of white with no outline. And then we'll have this as the border. Let's save. And then the color needs to be this with display flex, align items to center so that they kind of align with the icon. And then we're going to have a gapping between the text and the icon. So we're going to set the gap as 10 pixels. Now the border radius needs to be 2 pixels with font size of 12 pixel. And then the cursor as pointer. And then the button, the second button, basically this one, we're going to target that. We're going to set the background color as this yellowish color. And then we're going to change the border as well. And then the icon inside of the buttons, we're going to increase the font size. And let's save. So yeah, we have the design ready. Now let's add the animations. Okay, so to add the animations, we're going to first create a script tag. Inside of that, we're going to add gsap.from, and this function takes in basically two parameters. Now this the GSAP has to and from. So basically the to is what you want your element, which you grab using the query selector here. So how do you want it to animate? Basically the final state, and then this from is basically the initial state from where you want the animation to start. So this takes in two parameters. The first one is basically the element itself. So we're going to target all the anchor tags, but not the logo. So here you can basically kind of add the CSS selector here. So all the CSS selectors that you add, you can directly add inside of these quotations. And then the second thing that it takes is basically the object of what you want it to kind of animate to. So basically we want it to move from y minus 500, since this is from. So how you want it to come from. So this is basically the initial state, and then the CSS that you have is basically the final state that your elements will basically take in. So you have y minus 500, and then the opacity. So initially when the animation starts, it would have y as minus 500, and also the opacity would be 0. And then as it goes on, it would have the normal y value, which is specified in our CSS. Now here, for all the different elements, you might not have your y value, which is basically the translate y. But what it does is basically it kind of has the final value as whatever is defined in your CSS. Now here we have the opacity 0, and then we want them to stagger. So we have 0.2, seconds, and then the entire duration needs to be of 2 seconds. And then here you have an ease in effect. Now what I'm using is power 4 and in out. Let's save and let's see. So let's refresh. You see how they kind of stagger one after the other, and then how they kind of appear from somewhere here and then they translate. Okay, cool. Now we're going to target the BG1 and we want to translate along the x-axis with duration, ease effect. Now this time it's out, not in out, and then the opacity needs to be 0, and then the BG2 as well. So the BG1 comes in somewhere from left, okay, and then this one would come somewhere from right. So we have x as minus 500 from left, and then this x as 500, that basically means that it needs to come somewhere from the right side. And then also would add the ease effect along with the opacity. Let's save. Okay, looks pretty good. Now we're going to target the Joker logo and we're going to translate along the y-axis with duration of this, opacity, and also an ease in effect. And then we also want it to delay 1.5 seconds, meaning that after 1.5 seconds passes by, only then you want this element to start the animation. Let's save. Okay. Then you want to target the upper text and lower text, and we want them to translate along y-axis with duration of this, opacity of 0, and then a delay of 3 seconds. And then the trailer that we have, we want the trailer to kind of appear from the y-axis of 20 pixels. And then the duration needs to be 1 second with opacity of 0 and delay of 3 seconds. And then stagger, since we have three images, three trailers basically. So we want each to have a 0.5 seconds of stagger. Let's save. Okay. So yeah, there we have it. So we have built this amazing landing page design for this Joker movie. So hope you liked this video. Hope you learned something new. Now the source code of this video is in the description. Make sure to check that out. Download the source code, play with it, use it however you want. So meet you guys in the next video. And if you're new and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you turn the notification bell on so that you do not miss any of my videos. And yeah, share this video with your friends and family. Meet you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye.